Here's the timer. Okay. Ready. Add an interval. And then do this. Ready. Okay. You're on. Let's see.
Okay. Me'inyonim Mesichas Shabbos Parshas Vayishlach, from the Sichas of Parshas Vayishlach, Tes Zayin Kislev Heitav Shinun Beis. Aleph Me'inyonim Amiyuchadim Diyema Shabbos Keidish Se. One of the special things that is about this Shabbos, Haschalasai Erev Shabbos, which if you look at the beginning is Erev Shabbos, Shaboy Nasas Achila Diyema Shabbos, and that on Fridays when the preparations for Shabbos happen, he who put in effort on Erev Shabbos eats on Shabbos. Yom Tezvav Kislev. So this Friday is on the 15th of Kislev. Shebai Kiyama Siara Bashlamusa, in which the moon is full. Hashleimus L'Chedesh El. This represents the fullness of the month of Elul. V'siyumei Agmar D'Meit Shabbos. And when we look at the end of Shabbos, Nimshach Ad Yom HaShlishi B'Shavua, which Shabbos we know carries on till Tuesday. Yutes Kislev, which on Tuesday is Yutes Kislev. Chag HaGeula Sharabbeinu Hazaken, the day of redemption of the Alter Rebbe. Chag HaChagim, the Yom Tov of Yom Tovs. Rosh Hashanah of Teres Chassidus, the Rosh Hashanah of Teres Chassidus. So from the things that the Rebbe mentioned, and we could probably add a bit. We could add Yud Daled, the day that the Rebbe gets the Chassan of the Rebbe. Tezvav is already Friday, which is a full moon, which represents the completion of Kislev. Oh, sorry, I wasn't looking at the clock. I might have overdone it over there.
Oh, so, you did it perfect. You did it perfect. So actually, Pasha just got that from you because I was busy sharing that thing. Okay, so a lot of juicy stuff are going on here. And it's interesting because the Rebbe seems to be speaking about, it says Shabbos, Erev Shabbos, which is a preparation. Okay, fine. So let's go. Does he add anything here? Okay, right. So on the footnote there, he adds something. Okay, let's see. The unique advantage of this kviyas, this setup of the days of the week with the month, is the same. It fits with the kviyas, the setup of Yutas Kislev the first time in the year of Tavkuf Nun Tes. Okay, I'm in the middle of the paragraph, but Shalom, it's your turn.
Kediver Rabbeinu Zaken b'Mechtavei Yadua sheGeula Haisa b'Yom Yutas Kislev. Like the Alter Rebbe said in his known letter that the Geula was on Yutas Kislev. Yom Gimel HaKaifo by Kitayv. The third day, which double is, I don't know what that's saying. Kisher Karisi B'Sefer Tehillim B'Pasuk Pada B'Shalom Nafshi. When I read in Tehillim, the Pasuk Pada B'Shalom Nafshi. She'al Pi Chalukas Sefer Tehillim Limei Shavua Shaykh Pasuk Zel L'Shir Diyam Ashlishi. When it's split up into the days of the week, it's the third day. It's the third day of the week. It's Tuesdays. Uvmela Chol Yom Ha. I don't know what this is. Shabbos Kodesh Shalafana B'Tesayin Kislev. Erev Shabbos B'Tesvav Kislev. All right. Pass it.
Shkoyach. So this is a amazing thing when the calendar runs coincides like with the same exact days of the week that the big miracles happen. Feels like we're in for it in a real way. וכיוון שכל העניונים אחס כמה עניין הכי כללי בעיקר יוטס כסלב. And as in all things, but how much more so when it's an essential thing as Yutes Kislev, Rosh Hashanah for Teres Chassidus, and Mashkacha Pratis is exactly to the detail planned out by Hashem. Uvatach Sadiuk, so we could definitely see a connection between them. Shabracha, that the blessing and the empowerment of Yutes Kislev, that the blessing that happens on Shabbos, which is through the efforts done on Friday in Mitesvav Kislev, about the Kislev, that will come on. So basically, the Rebbe is saying that on Friday is the effort. Tesvav Kislev, the moon is full. Shabbos is the blessing that empowers and enables Yutes Kislev to happen. So we got to put in a lot of effort this Friday. I'm not sure what to do yet, but it's going to have to be something in preparation for Shabbos.
Rabbi Yisrael, welcome. If you're ready, it would be your turn.
Hello everyone. Still getting set up over here. I'm downloading the PDF and setting up over here. So I'll just share some thoughts. Yeah, it was really exciting to do the stand outside on Kingston on Sunday. It was really geschmack for bringing with a lot of different people. I really felt like the first time it was an interesting like, whoa, what's this? The second time it was also like people like, but this third time it was really like it felt like headway was made. Some people already saw this once or twice and were already familiar with that this is what's going on, and they saw it yet again, like this is normal now. This is what this is about. And other people, mamash, felt comfortable enough to approach, to talk, to open up, to like burst past their own goals, inhibitions, and get past that wall and say, yeah, we want to talk about this. Yeah, we want to be open about this. We should ask the question. We should go there. We should spread the freedom of speech to be able to machashturim about this and make this happen. It was really, really amazing. And Mirz Hashem, more awesome things to come.
Yisrael, you are amazing. So, yeah, keep it going. I did want to ask you if you think it will be beneficial if you get everything on camera and if you have cameras. The guy that you're in the middle of elevating somehow that set up this idea, he does it with the cameras and then he publishes it. People could see what the discussions were about. People are able to participate even later on. So please share where that's holding, if that's a good idea, if you think it's a good idea, and if yes, do we have cameras for that? A couple of GoPros, whatnot. Anyways, so maybe that's also, I mean, on the one hand, you have the most challenging place because Crown Heights is the most challenging, we all know. And at the same time, like, you can do Mitzrayim right there. It's amazing. It's like, if we want to set one of those up, I don't know where we do it. We'd have to think of a good place to set it up and have discussions about Moshiach. So it's good things. Baruch Hashem. So I'm saying, you were saying, well, obviously we have to do something serious on Friday, according to the Sikha already. So we still have to figure out what. Okay, base. So first comes first, this question in regards to this Kislev. Shalom.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm assuming there's a stand somewhere in Crown Heights. Sounds very interesting. It's very random. Like random. I don't know exactly what we're saying yet. I know that there's a connection between the days so far of the week, but I'm not exactly sure what the connection is. Pass. I'll wait for someone to explain it.
So I'm also waiting for the Rebbe to explain it. But so far, here goes. Pesach v'Sukkos nikvu b'yem hachamishi aser b'Chodesh. We find that Pesach and Sukkot are on the 15th day of the month. Shabai kiyama sa'ar b'Shlomusa. This is when the moon is full. Shavuos neslakach shakasav leitol chag zeh v'kam yom l'Chodesh. Shavuos is talking not on the 15th, but it goes on the 50th of the Eimer. Harei kviyasi b'Chodesh. Is nevertheless still in the first half of the month. Shalavana, the must be so dim lavana. So the Rebbe is saying is that we have a phenomenon that the holidays are generally in the middle of the month, right when the moon is full, because the Jewish people are compared to the moon, and even when it's not in the middle of the month, it's at least towards the first half, when the moon is getting full, representing how the Jewish people are getting bigger and stronger. So I'm assuming the Rebbe is going to question now, why is Yotes Kislev on the second half of the month, and how does that represent the Yom Tov of all Yom Tovs? So I'm going to pass it.
Yeah. So just to address a few the comments that you guys mentioned, basic to have recording equipment and cameras and recorders to hear these amazing, amazing out of the world conversations that people have about this is really what it's all about. In a way, I'm kind of like wasting a lot of good material because I mean, the ikar is that people hear about this and shturim about this and wake up about this. That's really the main point, the minimum success of the whole project. But really, a big part of it all is the social media effect, so to speak, the fact that people hear that people said and discussed and talked these kinds of things out on the street on Kingston. That's really where the whole buzz starts. When someone passes a clip to someone else that these guys were on Kingston talking about this, and that gets shared around and people hear about it, that's what creates more. Oh, really? They spoke about this? This is going on? That's what people are talking about now? That's what's going on the street. So, and there's so much reich material that was discussed. It's mamash ashad that I didn't record them so far. I think you guys would absolutely love it. I think anyone who would watch it would love it. But now, in Mirz Hashem, we're looking forward to this collaboration with Reb Simon Jacobson, and I think he'll be able to fill us in with some additional equipment and resources that we need to make it more professional, make it more, with all the equipment that we need. We're going to record it, we're going to edit nice clips and spread it out. It's going to be good. But yeah, Reb Shalom, check out this image I sent in the chat room. This is what we're trying to go out there in Mahashturim here in Crown Heights.
I'm just trying to correct you. You are not trying to. You are. Okay. So all right. So I'm gonna, Shalom. I know you asked it. So since you asked it, I'm gonna have to try to understand it myself. So we're saying a few things. We said it starts off with Friday. Friday is the middle of the month when the moon is the fullest. And basically from there, with Shabbos, Friday we know is the preparation for Shabbos. That whatever you work during Friday, that's what you have on Shabbos. And then he continues going basically all the way from there till Yutas Kislev, how it seems to be like one whole nice bunch of good stuff going on. So, and I was right culminating Yutas Kislev with Friedrich Rebbe, with the Alter Rebbe. So the Rebbe points out a advantage that we have that has the same setup as it was the first year to Kislev. That we have the same setup in the year, which I was actually going to ask you guys: is it going to be? Are we right now in the same kviyas, and is it going to stay like that the whole year? I was just wondering about that. I didn't check that up yet. And basically, since we know that everything's exact, and the Frierdiker Rebbe said about the Tillim that he read, right, that's how it works out. So that means there's obviously something that we can learn from it as well. Okay. Sure.
Where are we holding?
Next page, page 156, Mashem King.
Mashen King Yotes Keslev, Loizu Bovad She'enai Betesva B'Chaydesh. Not only is it on the 15th of the month, Kishekaima Sihara Ashlemusa, when the moon is full, Elis, I think that's what it means. Eli Yisirim is that only more than this. Shehu B'Chetzav Hasheni Shalachaydesh, Kishalavana Halechas Mismatas. Oh, it's a question. Miem Liam. Yeah. So the stand sounds very interesting. I'm just curious, when does it happen? It also seemed like it was very successful. There was a lot of people there. It seemed very, very good. It happened today. All right. Yeah, pass.
Yes, I didn't comment, Yisrael, but thank you so much for doing this stand. Hashem should really help you and bless you as a result. Should have no other worries besides bringing Mashiach. Like, everything should be taken care of for you. The Rebbe's gold, platinum, credit card, debit card should be like in your bank account. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should have no worries. Mamish. So yeah, there's a stand, and it's about revolutionizing, giving people the courage to take the leap, to actually live with the concept that Mashiach is coming. Like, like you have a big business deal and you got to sign the bottom of the contract. You're a little shaking. You're like, I don't know. I'm investing all my nest egg into this, into this coming operation. I have no idea where it's going to take me, So I'm getting a little bit more keen on the idea. I'm really a big fan. All right, so here it goes. So yes, the Rebbe is asking a question. How can we be celebrating a Yom Tov when the moon is getting smaller? It seems to be stating that the Yidden are getting weaker. If the moon getting bigger represents the Yidden getting stronger. So we have a question. Why is Yutes Kislev in the second half of the month as the moon is diminishing? And even more than this, we have even a bigger question. It's not like Purim, which is in the 14th and the 15th day of the month, again, when the moon is full. The moon mamish disappears during Hanukkah.
Yeah, shkoyach. Thanks a lot, everyone, for the feedback. To answer your question, Reb Sholem, I'm doing it kind of not on a steady basis yet, on and off. One day yes, one day not. Kind of 1 week yes, 1 week not. So far, I did it like we did it during Tishrei, yeah, like pretty much every night of Simchas Beis Sheva, right on Kingston. There's a lot of Yishmaka Fabringas there with many different people from many different communities, Chassidim, so-called Misnagdim, whatever they were. Everyone was taking part of the action. It was amazing conversations there. Now I did it the Friday of the Knus HaShluchim. We did it the Friday after that, last Friday, and now I did it just yesterday, this Sunday, and it might be a bit busy in the upcoming days or weeks. First of all, because Mashiach is coming. Second of all, because we are also expecting some Mashiach news very, very soon, any day now. So I might get a little busy, but hopefully some of the other people that got woken up and inspired by this maybe will take over. And Machashturim, also, once we get Reb Simon Jacobson involved, we'll have, who knows, maybe we'll have some. It's getting cold outside. We need some free tea, some free coffee. Everyone is going to stop by the stand and they want to have a piece of the action, join into the conversation. And the ikar is that they get involved and ask and answer questions.
First of all, that's a legendary idea. Nice hot coffee, tea, chocolate milk, hot cocoa, all the good stuff. Have it there. And man, I don't understand what you're saying. Are you saying that you're getting Simon Jacobson to sit there at the corner? That's a very good idea. Yeah. You have to sit down there, push with the same sign. That's the way to do it. That's what you need. And people walk by, get the second glance thing. Like, is that Simon Jacobson just sitting there?
Soon. Might do it one day soon.
Oh, that's a great idea. Invite him. You never know. Don't be afraid. That sounds very cool. Kalder ze vi ser mize. Wenn ich gehe Judas de Chanukah, שאין כפורים שבקביעס בי"ד תזבב בחודש כשקיים מסיירה בשלמוסה אלא אז חלסי ורובה וימים האחרונים של החודש מחוף ה' כסלו ואילך כשהלבנו הולכת ומסמעטת עד שמסכסה ונעלמת לגמרי. So basically, we're asking, like, so how come Yutas Kislev is in the second half of the month when not only is the moon not getting stronger or in its complete state, right, though when it's in its full vigor, but it's actually getting smaller until when we're talking about Hanukkah, it's in the second half and then even like till it's gone.
That's what Mashiach's about. Well, what's Mashiach? Everything looks like it's getting smaller and smaller. Godliness seems to be disappearing, and then all of a sudden, it's a mass revelation. Whatever, yeah, it's just whatever. Stop. Just a thought. Like we always say, we're waiting for Mashiach, but from what I understand, Mashiach's playing a big role at the beginning of whenever the big revelation happens. But past that, I'm saying like there's going to be godly revelation all over the place. So what's Mashiach gonna? What role is he gonna play? Like what is he gonna be doing once it's all said and done? Like we're gonna be seeing godliness. What do we need that like? We need a Rebbe when there's Gullus. What do we need? I don't know what that means, but yeah, I don't understand what the I'm saying, especially since we're saying we're waiting for Mashiach. We're waiting. I mean, the way I understand, I'm waiting for like godliness to be revealed. So like my life is just awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's perfect.
No, we were able to hear you. You just put yourself on mute.
Oh, so your life is awesome and it's getting better, even more awesome. And the best part of it is, I learned the Mimer where the Rebbe explains that even when Mashiach comes, a king his head is higher than the rest of the people. Like even like so basically, how do you explain that when we're able to see Hashem physically with our own eyes? How is the Rebbe, the king, how is he going to be on? Obviously, there is still going to be things that are beyond my reach that the Rebbe is going to give to me and feed to me and make it something that I can handle. So there's going to constantly be that, and there's going to, so that there is that concept. By the way, these sikhs, I'm sorry to say, but like I already could feel like where it's going, and it's saying out like when the moon is smaller, that's when it's your turn to shine. You know what I'm saying? You're the closest when it's dark. I don't know if I want to even read. I think I just want to go back to sleep. Like, are you kidding me? I heard this 1,000 times in my lifetime. Show me how amazing it is when the light is shining. You don't give me no explanations of nothing about the dark. The dark is amazing. The Yom Tov of all Yom Tovs. It's a good thing. It's true. Anyway, I really made a achlata to push it. Stop whining. God loves me. I'm going to celebrate it.
You're amazing. You're amazing. You love Davka have to stop whining. We know what you're talking about, and we identify with that. And I think we're gonna discover some amazing things. One day we're gonna say, "Oh, all those thousands and thousands of times that I heard this again and again. That when it's darkest, and we know already where the sikh is going. V'chule, v'chule. Every single time it etched a little something in us, and one day, boom." We see it, we feel it, and we realize, now I get it. Thanks to all those thousands of times that we heard it over and over again. It's almost like the Rebbe is trying to tell you a certain message here. And at some point, we're a little thick and it doesn't get to us. And it sounds boring and it sounds repetitive. But I'm telling you, the realization is yet to come. We're going to get it. So there were some other comments I wanted to say about some things you guys said, but I forgot. Your question, Reb Shalom, I think that when Moshiach is going to come, similar to the times of the Beis Hamikdash, there will still be the level of a king. The Moshiach will be the king, and as is explained in Chassidus, a king isn't someone that is supposed to be just a big boss and a show off. He is actually the one that expresses the kingship of the Eibishter to us, the people, and our connection to the Eibishter as our king is through the king.
Wow. So first of all, juicy stuff. So when Ratsuya is speaking, I realized another idea because I was shooting way too low. I'm just telling you that one time I'm gonna be walking by Kingston, you're gonna see the Rebbe sitting at a corner with this table, and it's gonna say, "Is Mashiach thing happening or not?" And people are just gonna, and people are gonna be like, and they'll do a second glance and really get involved and be like, "1 second, is this really happening? I think it's really happening." Anyways, and that was a thought that Tzvi somehow sparked in there. I'm just letting you know that's gonna happen. And what was the other one? About hearing this 1,000 times. um, you know, my wife keeps on telling me, to change the bulb. I say, you don't have to tell me 1,000 times to change the bulb. Like every 6 months you come to me and nag me to change the bulb again. It's like I'm gonna do it. I said I'm gonna do it. So that's about hearing it 1,000 times. So I don't know. I never heard this before. I'm learning about this for the first time. So I'm gonna try to get a few words in here. Huakdama. Shakivan. Shakib. What happened? Oh, they turned off my camera? Why did they turn off my camera? Okay, okay. Shalom, go ahead.
I have a lot to say, but I'm also just trying to gather all the information. So I feel bad for passing, but I'd rather hear people than speak, especially since I don't feel like I have much to say,
Shalom, I need no further ado. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
I
saying
love talking and people are listening. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to explain what does the second part of the month when the moon is getting smaller mean about the Jewish people. First of all, when the first part of the month and the moon is getting bigger, and in the second part of the month, the moon is getting smaller. It seems that if it was all about getting bigger and smaller, we should just count till 15. And then from day 15, it should go 14, 13, 12, 11, a countdown. If it's taka us getting weaker, and then we should count down, if you don't mind. Not only do we not start counting down when the moon starts getting smaller, but to contrary, we go higher than 15. That the number higher than 15, 16. So even though the moon is getting smaller, we're counting more. And then 17 base we're constantly climbing until we reach the very last day of the month, when the moon is completely concealed. We could even reach double 15. So the Rebbe is saying clearly there's growth happening.
זייס ואויד מלבד היסופו, גם בחצי השני של החידש. בהמספר דימי החידש, in addition to the fact that the numbers keep going up as the month goes on, and at the same time that we have the phenomena of the moon getting smaller and smaller, but meanwhile the numbers of the month are going higher. So in addition to that, so we can also find something going up, something very positive and growing and going higher and higher in terms of the meaning of these numbers. L'dugma, Mispar Yud Zayin, which is 2 numbers after Tezvav. So there we have Gematria of Toiv, good. Mispar Yud Ches is Chai. Mispar Yud Tes is the Gematria of Bitoiv. Right? Mispar Yud Tes is the Gematria of Bitoiv. Mispar Chaf Yud B'miluyoy. And mispar, right? Because yud, when you write it out, yud, vav, and dalid, so then it's 10 and 6 and 4, so that's 20. Mispar chaf aleph signifies the words of ach tevel Yisrael. Mispar chaf beis b'choy yivarech Yisrael. Mispar chaf gimel hagematria the two voy. Mispar chaf dalid v'samti kad koid sham shisayich. Mispar chaf hey koy yivarech os b'nei Yisrael. Chavav mispar shem mefurish shem avaya.
Okay. Chav Zayin, Gematria Zach, Chav Chet, Mr. Koyach, Chav Tes, and Yechi. Or Donsh, I don't know, whichever one. Chav Tes, Yimei HaChodesh. Shloshim Chodesh Ma'aleh, B'chimitz B'zeh. Amazing. Okay, so the Rebbe goes through every single day of how you see that even in the Gematria, you can see a clear adding into every level. That means every day is really adding, and it's not, God forbid, as we said, as we asked in the question before, of going down. It's not going down, it is going up. Okay. It seems that, Shalom, you got what you asked for even before you finished asking. And Tzvi fulfilled your request. So too, before I finish asking, we should have Moshiach right now. Tamadover, given sheyesh neitzivay, vayra unesinas koyach, malin b'kodesh, malachas kama she'ein meridin. Oh, I also want to say tzugizon to Yisrael because I saw sneeze before. I also want to say it sounds like that there's a simcha coming along, which is very exciting and very geula the canoes we should have. Okay, I'm not going to continue. So, Sean, go ahead.
Oh, Tzvi, I thought you would read my mind again. Yeah.
Okay, so here we're going for it. First of all, the birth of the new moon, Be'ezrat Hashem. Yushatei Mitzlachas. Tam Adover, Kivan Sheyeshno, Yitziva Beiro, Nisinus Keich Ma'am HaKesh Le'imid. We have a rule in Torah that climbing, we're always climbing. This stays strong throughout the whole month. Even when the moon is getting smaller, if everything is always about getting stronger, why doesn't the moon get stronger every day for all eternity? So why do we see the moon getting smaller if it's all about growing? If we're meant to keep climbing, what's going on over here? That the moon, how do we see it getting smaller? What's going on over here? A good question. I'm going to pass.
Okay. Did we read?
So we're by
Dalit. Wisdom? Which
Dalit.
one? Oh, Dalit. Okay. Here we go. Vayishlach Rabir Bazet. Levana v'chama heim mekabel mashpia. Shalevana leis le migar maklum umkabelas oira mei hachama. But even the truth is that sometimes it helps, in addition to the pile up that we feel we've learned about all these lessons over and over and over again, but also the teachers in Chassidus, it's important to, when submitting yourself to learn something, to try and erase preconceptions, pre-notions, and try to really submit yourself as if this is the first time learning and it's all Torah Mishamayim. What is the message that the Rebbe, sometimes we end up blocking ourselves from some deeper meaning and some deeper message that Rebbe is trying to whisper to us, but we're having a hard time hearing it. So I'm trying very hard now to clear my mind from what I think I know, and let's just try to hear what the Rebbe is saying. שמקבלת מהחמה עד לימת הסבב, שנשמע diskus shel levana kaima sira bashmu musa nismali v'nishlema oir shem kabelas levana me'achama. So what happens is that the sun is shining, it reflects off the moon, and in the beginning there's only a little bit of the sunshine that reaches the moon, but then it continues getting more and more until by the middle of the month the entire surface of the moon is being shined on with sunlight.
I know this is obvious, but I want to say it anyways. I don't know, whatever. It's just that that's how we perceive a view. It means the moon could be getting full sunlight all along. And just from our perspective, is that when we see a full moon, a half moon, waning and waxing, really it has the sun, unless it's an eclipse, the sun is shining on the moon pretty much all the time. Anyways, it's time I wanted to, it's in my mind, so I wanted to share that. But even when it's full, even when the moon is completely full, it's still only a receiver. It still did not reach its complete state, its full potential, when it lights as the sun does, and does not need to receive light from the sun. Like it says that the light of the moon will be like the light of the sun, like it was before it was diminished. Which there was the two great luminaries. I just wanted to check. There's source and it says Shayo, I guess. Okay, Shalom.
V'yesh Leimar, Kishen Ismale Ar Levana Shem Mekabelas Me'achama. And we could say, and there's some that say, when the light of the moon that is being drawn in from the sun, Nasis Shlemus Nalis Yaiser Shahalavana Ikumayachama. The Vahaya Arlavana Karachama. Alidei Hiskalis Darganalis Yaiser Me Shnehem Shanasis Kesser Echad Lashnehem. Shlemusu Misbates Beham Shebein Halavana Lachama Bechatzav Hasheni Shal Chadesh Kidila Kaman. See.
So it seems almost that the Rebbe is implying that the moon climbs higher than the sun, or at least equal to the sun. The first half of the month, this is going to get good. By the way, I'm open to what you're saying, Rabbi Yisrael, to be open. The first half of the month, we're receiving from God. The second half of the month, we're already equal to the Eibishter, because the first half of the month, the moon is receiving from the sun. The second half of the month, it already received all that it needed, so to speak. And it reaches a level where it's totally on the same status as the sun. Bir Advar, the Rebbe is going to explain. The difference of what's going on in the first half of the month, that the moon is getting bigger, to the second half of the month, that the moon is getting smaller. Because the reality is that the first half of the month, the moon is distancing itself from the sun. And the further it gets from the sun, the more its light shines. The second half of the month, the moon is closing into the sun. The closer it gets to the sun, it is unable to give light. Right? That's the way it goes. When we're receiving, we're busy receiving. When we're giving, we're busy giving. It's hard to do both at the same time.
Very interesting. V'tama davar. Fi shayach. So even though the moon is appearing to get smaller and smaller, but really there's something else entirely going on here. Is the fact that the moon is getting closer and closer to the sun. Tamador לפי שיחס שבין המשפיע חמה והמקבל לבנה הוא באופן שכאשר המקבל הוא בקירוב אל המשפיע, אין המקבל יכול להשפיע להויר מצד הביטול שלו לקבל ההשפעה. וככל שמתרחק מן המשפיע, מתחיל גם הוא להשפיע להויר, ההויר שמקבל מהמשפיע. So I guess in terms of the moon, as long as it's really close towards the sun, yeah, it's busy receiving from the sun, and so it's not occupying itself with getting brighter and brighter, shining light towards others. But when the moon goes further away from the sun, then the moon shines a brighter and brighter surface of reflecting the sunlight until it's completely full. So during that time, the moon is also passing on as a mashpia onward from what it receives from the sun. So the first half of the month it receives from the sun and is mashpia it onward. The second half, it's only getting closer to receive and it can't be much.
I think I understand it, but I don't know what the chances of me being right are. Basically, the sun, right? So when would the sun look full to us? Like, I think there's a continuation of what I was saying before. The sun looks full to us when we are actually closer to the sun than the moon is, right? Because it's shining pretty much from behind us. Okay, so it's behind us and the sun's shining at us, so we see a full thing. Because the full mirror of the sun from shining behind us is shining onto the moon, so we see it. We see a full moon. When the sun is on the side, for example, right, or behind, is basically, or really we're in the middle, whatever it is, but basically that's when we see less of the moon because it is actually closer to the sun, and therefore we don't see the reflection of it. So that makes sense to me. Hope that made sense to you. Now the question is, what's the actual message over there? Besides of that, because the moon, as long as the moon is receiving, I don't understand the last point. Like, what's the Talmud dover? The mashpia and the makabel, and as long as you're closer to the mashpia, that's when you don't give. Okay, shalom.
So what I understand from this, I don't really understand the part with the sun, but I understand, like, the lesson I'm taking out of this with the moon is that that when the moon is when the moon is shining and doing its job, that's when we, like, when it's giving, that's when we are able to that's why we bless the moon. So when we look at it and then we see it in its full brightness, then not only is it like doing its job, but we're also appreciating it. And that means that I'm not wording this correctly, but while it's doing its job, then we're appreciating it. And then when it's not doing its job, it's just so that we can appreciate it when it is doing it. It made more sense in my head. If I could reword that next time, I'll do that.
So yeah, Rabbi Isaac, I couldn't really follow what you were saying about whether it's me, the distance the moon has to me. I think that it's talking about the sun and the moon, and you see it clear that when there's a giver, so the receiver is focused on the giver. When the giver is not there, now this one who received now becomes the new giver. So now it's focused on giving. The idea is simply how does this relate? This that the moon is zooming in on the sun. It seems that the first half of the month we're, so to speak, running away from God, and God is chasing us. this and with giving. And the second half of the month, we're moving towards God, and lo yirak l'tzerich as chadshus hayichud shimsha v'ziyara mashpim kabel amiru dachish la'achri zeh. The movement of the moon towards the sun in the second half of the month is not only for the unity that will be when the moon and the sun give birth to a new month, right? So this is the accomplishment of the moon nullifying itself, that it accomplishes this unity. Like David the Melech was told, when your seat is empty, that's when you're going to rise to your greatest heights. This accomplishes the birth of the new moon. So this is one thing, but this affects the coming month.
Okay, so I'm not sure how far you went into the Vayishlach, but I'll take it up.
I'm holding by Elogam Uvikar.
Oh, Elogam Uvikar. Okay, good. Okay, Elogam Uvikar. We have to keep in mind this idea that the moon is getting closer to the sun represents something that's higher even than their usual state of being a sun and a moon, and the sun is shining to the moon, and the moon is receiving it, and the moon is passing it on. But there's something higher than even that, higher than even the light that's coming from the sun to the moon. They're getting closer to the etzem, which is higher than even the light of the moon. I'm not sure, but I think that's an expression that refers to something about the sun and the moon. Is it maybe referring back to in the beginning of creation where there were two suns, and the mashal goes that you can't have two kings that are using one crown. But then I guess the idea is that there is such a thing of two kings that you really are using one crown, keser echad l'shneim, and at this point of the cycle, the sun and the moon are both getting together to one etzem that they both share, two kings that are wearing one crown.
So I hope I'm not going into clear here, but I think that the whole problem of the moon saying that is because it's not you. It's not you as the moon, and it's not you as the sun. You guys don't have the crown. And I think before the Rebbe actually uses that one, in the previous page, he says, and then he says, Ayidei his galas darga nalas yisumishnehem shnasis keser echad l'shnehem. That means you're revealing a higher than both of them. That enables them, like, yeah, Taka, there's one crown. You guys fit. It's like a bigger bully came into town. But anyways, my attempt to did it go off? My attempt to teach this class over here. Okay, so if this is the moon, can you see a light on it? You can't even see a light on it. It's not gonna help me. Anyways, I'm gonna try anyways. Okay, if this is the moon and you guys are the earth. So this is the view that you see. So really, you don't see how white it is. You don't only see parts of it. I would shine this flashlight on it, but it's pushing not working. Maybe if I go like this, hold on, let's see. Is this gonna help? No, the cloud doesn't help. Okay, never mind. Anyways, basically, if this is the sun, so if it's behind you, if this is behind you, so then it's further away from the moon, but you see it, because that's what's reflecting to you. But when it's over here, you don't see the moon, because this is closer to the sun. Oh, whatever, I tried. Shalom.
A lot of this is going over my head, I guess, like the sunlight toward the moon. I don't really understand what we're trying to get at, but I'm starting to understand a little bit. Just a little more explaining, and I'll get it.
Shalom. So I get to sound smart because I go after you, you know. You prop me up very well. I'm going to try to say what I'm getting so far from the Sikha. The Rebbe is telling us that the second half of the month, the moon is getting smaller. What that means that the moon is getting smaller, the moon is the receiver. The Jewish people are the moon. We're the receiver. We're Hashem's wife. Hashem is the giver. Hashem is the provider. Hashem is and that's why it's one crown that fits both, by the way, because it's not two kings, it's a king and a queen. And the idea of when the queen is not dealing with her children, it's because she's talking to her husband, right? So when she's not being a giver, it's because she's busy receiving her husband. And the idea is that the Levon on the second half of the month, it's not Chas v'Shalom that the Yidden are not being provided. It's that they are running towards the sun. That's what's happening. The moon and the sun have this running back and forth. The first half of the month, the moon is distancing itself. And therefore, there's a lot of light shining on the children, on the world, right? The moon is being a provider, but the moon is not essentially a provider. The moon needs to come back to the sun and say, hey, it's time for you to, and it's basking in the sun's warmth the second half of the month. So the Yidden are actually tapping into that energy. So with that, we're going to try to go a little deeper. The reality is that when things are really good, you don't see them. The essence is hidden. Things that are enjoyable, things that are light, they're not necessarily big movements. When you're talking about a fellow individual, it's very difficult to receive their essence. So
Yeah, very well explained. I do have to get going soon, but I just remembered a little mashal about this last nukuda you just read, about that when something comes from the etzem, then it comes in just a little bit. And I think they say a mashal of a story of, maybe it was Reb Mendel Futterfaus or someone who was in prison in Russia for a long time. And while he was in prison, he was able to get mail, and he got photos of his family and of his son that was going to be he was growing up. He was 1 year old, 2 year old, 3 years old, and he was getting photos from them. But then one time he got a letter, and he didn't get any pictures, but he got a bit of the hair that they cut by his upshernish. And he was fabringen for years afterwards how it was one thing to see the full appearance of his son in a picture, that in a picture you see what your son actually looks like and the whole revelation of that and how amazing that is. But he said, but there's something about it just having an actual piece of him, even if it's just a few little hairs. But it's etzem, it's of him. It's a few hairs that was cut from his head, from his hair, and I am holding that piece of him now in my hand. There's something so much closer about that even though it doesn't look like much, it's just a few strands of hair. It's not like seeing the whole photo of the child, but that's the etzem, even if it's a little bit, but you got the actual kid in your hand, so to speak.
Okay, we need Moshiach right now. And right in the middle, should we try to finish till Vav? I'm ready to go for it if you want to try to go till Vav. Even though I feel there's a lot of that I still need to understand here, but the examples that Tzvi and Yisrael you gave, I think clarified a lot in my mind. הכלל שהעצם הוא בהלם והאור הוא בגילוי הוא ביחס לזולת שכיוון שאין יכול לקבל העצם אלא האור ממנו בלבד לכן נקרא לאור האור ולעצם הלם חושך אבל ביחס לעצם הרי זה להפך שהאור הוא חושך לגבי העצם שהוא האור. Wow, that's great. That's great. So even though we call etzem hidden because the essence is something that you can't really get in a tangible way. But and the light we say is revealed because we're getting some of it. But from the etzem's perspective, the exact opposite is true. This is phenomenal. Why? Because the etzem is the etzem. That's the real deal. That's what you know. And the light that's shining out is only a fraction of a nothing. That's nothing compared to the etzem. Wow, really amazing. Okay, 2 more paragraphs. Shalom, go ahead.
Yeah, even though I don't understand everything and I have a hard time like getting all the concepts, I really do appreciate being able to sit and getting the light shined in my face, and getting a little bit of the energy from this. It's good. Yeah. See, take it away.
You give us the best. You know, you push us to reach deeper understanding in order to give it over in more simple terms. So this idea that we just said is so powerful. It's, the husband and the wife are driving in the car, and the wife says, I want you to stop, pull over and get ice cream. And the husband's thinking, oh my gosh, another stop. I just want to keep going. So someone's in a state of light, but the other one is in a state of darkness. One of the two is in control of the wheel. And the idea that the Rebbe is saying here is that in the second half of the month, when the moon seems to be getting smaller, it's because Hashem is delighting in us. So it's like, I keep asking, the question I have to ask myself is Hashem comfortable in my life? Not just, am I getting all the candy that I could and all the sugar and all the treats that I could squeeze out of him? It's not just about me. For the moment, I have to think to myself, okay, is it possible that God really has a want that I got to get out of the way for?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Okay, so let me read a little bit more. Hang on, where are we up to? Umizeh muvan? Is that where we're reading? Umizeh muvan, שהצריך במיעוט הער כדי להזכרב לעצם, איני אלא כל זמן שנשאר בגדר של מציאות בפני עצמי זולת, שאינו יכול לקבל את העצם, שנשאר בהלם, אבל כשמסעכת עם המשפיע, ועד לאופן שנעשה כמו המשפיע, שאין ביניהם יחס של משפיע מקבל, אבל שניהם שווים, ויוער לבנו כער החמו, אז העצם הוא בהסגלוס. So, this side effect that we have, that when we're going more towards the etzem, we have only a little bit of ayr. That's only when we're still looking at it as there's a mashpia and there's a mekabel. So you can only be mekabel a little bit of what's coming out of that etzem. But really, that's like the little story. That's the side effect of what's going on. If you look at it from the etzem's point of view, really what's happening is that you're becoming on the same level as the etzem, as the mashpia. There is no difference between mashpia and mekabel. There isn't really someone is a mashpia and someone is a mekabel. Both are equal, which is a terrifying thought. I think this is something new that the Rebbe is trying to teach us, that we become on the level kaviyachol of the Eibishter.
Yeah, now that we learned it 1,000 times, we can finally get it. Is that Pashut? Hashem's telling us, get on my level. It's not just level, because it's above level. The whole idea is about Etzem. Is that Etzem is finally saying, finally. You would think we're having a tough time. We're just something in the external hack and China has nothing to do with anything. Okay, let me finish off, because it seems like we're pressured for time. So, according to this, we could say that the diminution, whatever it is, the making smaller of the light, the second half of the month, is not just making it smaller of a light, of a level of light. It's too cute. Which is because it's getting closer to the etzem, which is higher than R. שלכן ההילך בנתייסף המינן שמורו מדגיש הסגלוס הדבר תמי החודש תזין, יודזין, יודחס וכולו הידי בני ישראל כיוון שההילך בנתייסף מסגלוס העצם שלמעלה מסגלוס האר. So it's not just about that light is becoming little, but that we're actually, I don't know what the last point is, but I guess at some point we're going to have to, whatever, we got the etzem. That's what it seems like we're doing. We're doing etzem in a greater and greater way. Okay, Moshiach now, everybody. Thank you very much. Michael Elchoil.
Moshiach now. It's a pleasure. L'chaim.
I can say, we want Moshiach
now.
Yay!